And welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Bolton. It's the start of Season 8. I'm extremely happy with the way this save has gone overall. It's been a bit of a stressful last couple of seasons in the Premier League, but hey, that's what you need to stay in it. And I think this year is going to be a good year for us. That's my hope anyway, although it has been a very, very difficult window. And I do almost feel like the transfer window for us is going to be broken down really into almost 2 transfer specials because we've really struggled to spend a lot of our money. Last summer, we didn't really struggle too badly, mainly because most of it went on Manny Farmer. This month, this window, it's been so difficult just to find anyone to buy a lot of the time. It's actually been a really, really tough time for us. More on that in a minute, but one of them is particularly strange. Started today on the page of Phil Foden. No particular reason why. I just thought you might like to see him, quite frankly. He's at Barcelona, 27 years old, 80 caps for England. Good career for old Phil. Definitely has nothing to do with the fact that we just signed him for Trobster on a free transfer at the age of 26 today on stream. Definitely not relevant at all. But before we get into anything else, since it is the start of the week, it's time to thank new patrons. I should have done this yesterday, but I completely forgot. Cap997, thank you, man. That's amazing for the huge pledge. And everyone over there that's been over there this entire time. I'm sure some of you have been on there for literally years. So seriously, thank you so much. So obviously, since you didn't know what our budget was, because we had to wait ages, it was a really long time before we actually got our proper budget through. It was £60 million was the full budget. Now, obviously, a lot of that was the fact that we didn't get much more in wages, so obviously it wasn't actually 60 million. But I've really struggled to spend it, if I'm honest. We have made some signings. I have sorted out some loans and stuff. That's been done. But I genuinely feel like next episode will probably end up including even more signings than the ones I've actually made right now, because I've got a few more guys on my radar that I do think will join us soon too. But possibly some bad news is that I got a message from the chairman, and it said the chairman, Jung Jun, is withdrawing financial support for the club. I've never seen that news article before, so I don't really know what that means. All I think that means is that he's not going to keep ploughing money in, and I think it's fine, because with the fact that we're in the Premier League now, we should be relatively self-sufficient. So I think as long as we don't get relegated, I don't think it will be that much of an issue, but I think that's what it means. And now on to what I said I was going to talk about. I had a bid accepted by a team, I can't remember who it was. I think it was a team in the 3rd tier of Spain for a player I found. Really good player, £2.6 million release clause, and I was like, let's do this. He ended up joining Huesca over us, who aren't even in the top flight of Spain. We've had a real reputation problem this summer. We're at that point now where we can afford good players, but a lot of them won't join us because of the reputation situation. To give you an idea, I was seeing things in news articles saying that it was likely that Kim was going to join like Wolves, who were newly promoted because of the rep and stuff like that. So yeah, and it said it was his preferred destination. They never put a bid in for him as it goes, so that's quite useful, and he is still here. But I was a bit scared about that. Our rep is seriously causing us problems. But the fact that a player would choose to join Huesca instead of us is a real problem. Now, I suppose it could be because, again, staying in Spain. But that was a surprise for me, and it's been a real issue for us in this entire summer period. Now, let's quickly have a look and see if there were any outs, but I don't think there were, particularly, and then we'll get into the ins. That's the key thing. The only sort of big notable out is that Guy Portis has gone on loan to Bristol City for the season, in the Championship for them. I hope he can have a good time there this year and just sort of re-kick his career back into driving it, because last year he barely played for us, and it's nice to see Guy get some games. I want to see him get back in that Scotland team, and hey, playing in a top Championship side for him, hopefully playing every week, is a good chance, although it appears that he's just got an injury, and I didn't notice this. What is the injury? He's fine. He'll be fine. So he has gone out on loan. Now, obviously, Kang is back for another season. It's all good. Glad to have him back. I think he'll be terrific for us this year. I did also extend the loan of Juan Candela just to make sure, because I was unsure as to whether we were going to get a player in that role. So he's back on loan for another year just because we could, and he was relatively cheap, comparatively speaking. But the first player I brought in, and I wasn't really intending to bring in any central midfielders, but Gilney became available again. And I thought, you know what? He was quite good when he was here before, so I decided to just plump it. 13 million was the bid in the end, but we were getting a long way to the window, and I still hadn't signed anybody. And I must admit, I got a bit antsy and just wanted to pick someone up. And when the opportunity came up to bring him in, I thought, you know what? He played well for us in that first Premier League season. He's got great passing, really, really good passing. And maybe that could be letting him off the leash a little bit more this season to give Ilic a bit of competition for that spot. But there's a lot of players competing for that particular spot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't start all the time. But I still felt like for £13 million, that was his release clause, it isn't the worst deal in the world. He's a pretty good player. Next up is Kyle Wilson. He's on loan from Chelsea. We've basically just traded in Wendy Lacazette-Roche for Kyle Wilson on loan from Chelsea. I was just about to sign a guy from Stuttgart for like 15, 20 million pounds, who is very good, but I was unsure as to whether we actually needed him. And he was 23 years old, looked like a solid centre-back, and I might still go back in for him, if I'm honest, because we've got the cash. And yeah, the opportunity to sign Kyle Wilson came up from Chelsea. 15 heading, 14 marking, 16 tackling. He's not the quickest, but he's got a decent amount of height and jumping reach on him. I think he could be a solid option for us this year to just sort of play that Lacazette-Roche role. 25 grand a week is a fair amount of money, for sure, but we needed an extra bit of strength on that back line. And what better way to do it than get ourselves a player on loan from Chelsea? You know how much we love to do that. And incredibly, the last player that has currently joined us, because we've got a few more in the works currently, is this lad. This is Fan Hung, who is a Czech, obviously, left back, as you can imagine, but mainly he's the wing back here. Like, the problem with him is he's more of a complete wing back, which means he does lack on the tackling and marking. I've got him working on his defensive positioning to really try to strengthen that side of things, but from an attacking perspective, I think he's pretty damn good. 1.5 million pounds was the deal from Sparta Prague. Yes, he's half Vietnamese, so we've got to worry about him potentially getting call-ups there, but I thought, you know, plus his name's Fan Hung, which is terrific stuff. So given a bit more backup, frankly, on that left-hand side to Manny Farmer, I felt it was important. I think he's one of the better deals out of this lot, just because he did only cost us 1.5 million, and I do believe that there's a long way to go in the future for this lad. But there is another deal that's been done, but he won't join us just yet, and I'll show you him now as well. And this is Alvaro Pombo, a 17-year-old Spanish sort of midfielder, mainly bought him to play further up because he can play here. Terrific passing as well. Decent pace about him. He's 6 foot tall. Good-ish composure. Determination is solid. Comfortable stats across the board, basically. Now, this was a weird one. So, as I said, he won't actually join us until the January transfer window, but I really did want to try and strengthen that attacking midfield slot because I did wonder about what I would be able to do in the future. And bear in mind, this guy is still only 17, and he was at Real Zaragoza, and his release clause was £39 million, and I was nearly going to pay it, but I thought, you know what, let's just see if we can get him a little bit cheaper. And then they actually were prepared to negotiate with me down to a much cheaper price. So we're actually paying 12 million up front, rising to 24 potentially. Now, I know, and again, it's a lot of money, but I do think that this guy is still only 17 years old, and he is outrageously good for a player of that age. And I think long-term, he could be a terrific player in that middle, particularly for situations where perhaps PSG wouldn't let me buy Kang next summer, perhaps. He's the sort of guy that I feel like could comfortably slip into that role. He has that pace and dribbling, things I like, and I think he could only get better. Still 6 foot tall as well, which gives us a bit more in the air from him as well. And yeah, really happy to bring Alvaro Pombo in. Pombo, rather. 24 million is quite a lot, but it's still a hell of a lot cheaper than 40. And there's about 2 or 3 more deals that I've currently got in the works that it's just taken us such a long time to find the players, quite frankly. So they're now in the works right now. You'd expect to see 3 or 4 more. There's a Metsala guy I'm looking at potentially. He's like a 23-year-old guy at Feyenoord who would cost us quite a little bit. It's Tom something rather. Tom Cruise, I think his name might be. Something like that. So he might be potentially going to join us, but I don't know how much that would cost. And there's a few more players I'm potentially looking at as well. Might go back in for the guy from Stuttgart just to really strengthen that back line, as the likelihood of us getting someone like Kyle Wilson for another year is unlikely, and I do want to have less loans if I can. So obviously, still got plenty of money to play with, and I will definitely be doing that in tomorrow's video, so expect it to be transfer window part 2, probably. Now, we start off today away at Brighton. Now, I wanted to just show you our pre-season friendlies. Now, obviously, you're always going to slap some poor teams about, but I decided to schedule some friendlies against some slightly better sides that would be, you know, what I would consider to be above us as far as, you know, their quality. And I was very impressed with our performances against Inter. Beaten 3-1. Bayer Leverkusen 4-1. RB Leipzig 2-0 with a brace from O. Now, obviously, they're friendlies as well for them, but these are very strong-looking performances against some pretty damn good sides that you'd still expect us to lose to in pre-season games. So I genuinely do believe we've taken a step in the right direction tactically. I haven't really done a lot of work on a potential backup because I am confident that this year we're going to be way more consistent with this style of play. And our start to the year is very, very favourable. Brighton, Newcastle, Wolves, who are newly promoted, Sheffield United, Watford, West Ham. We don't play Liverpool until match day 7. So we're in a really strong position. If we can get off to the good start, we could be on for something. My aim this year is to see how close we can get to pushing for a European spot. And with the right transfers, hopefully for the rest of the window and January, I do believe we can certainly be in the conversation for it, given some of the results we were getting towards the end of last year. But we just need to continue. Today, though, we host Brighton. Starting off with a win at home would be absolutely perfect. So, hosting Brighton, who were one of our main rivals for position last season. Little switcheroo here. Kim, Kang, Christensen fine, Colombo and Illich. Ooh. Oh, it gives me pause for thought. Are we set to unavailable? We're not. Let's just filter that a bit. That's not changed anything, Matt. GG's. Some other players have gone out on loan as well, but not players that you would have been noticing disappear from the squad, so to speak. So I want to put Hung on the bench, firstly. Kirosh is struggling a bit. Gilnay needs to build up some match fitness as well. Gilnay, Matt, we've had this discussion before. So Kroken will probably come. Actually, no, I want to see. My assistant always likes Victor Conroy, and I wonder if there's a reason for that. So I want to give him a chance potentially off the bench, maybe, should the opportunity present itself today. We do look like we've got a bit more squad depth, which could come in handy. I don't expect to lose our players for half the season like we did last year, which definitely was a factor. So all in all, I'm excited to see what we can achieve this year, particularly with that one change that did seem to make us look so much better last season. We'll have to see. Kang as well. If he plays half as well as he did last year, we're in for something special this season. I really do believe that. Right then. At home against Brighton, mostly the same kind of lineup as last time, really. But I think there's definitely more depth to us. And again, that's one of the things I'm always kind of strengthening. I wasn't able to find any sort of standouts like Mohamed or Demaran this time around. It's just swings and roundabouts, you know? Not every day do those players come along. And the fact we were able to hoover those guys up when we were, I think is a really, really testament. It's just been such a difficult window for us to find players. But I am actually quite happy with the squad as a whole, and I look forward to see what we can achieve this year, just with the right little signings here and there to slowly strengthen us as we build up. Farmer again. I just want to make sure that we're consistently putting in solid performances. Even if the results aren't always there, because they're never always going to be there. Sam Farmer. It's not Sam Farmer, Manny Farmer, Matt. Kang? Oh, going to allow for some more runs inside. Christensen's one of those. And and another good shot on target. And Dahlberg is there to tip that one over the bar. Nice work. No need to overplay it. But now is when we want to look for those runs into the channel. There he has found it to Kim. He's a bit too wide to have a shot, but he can pull it back for Christensen for another shot, perhaps. And Colombo! That's a good ball for Kang. He's in behind. One touch out of his feet. Nope. That lovely decision not to shoot there. Just recycle the ball. Farmer's ball. And Colombo with the strike, and it's well saved by the goalkeeper again. Kang pulls it back across, and that might be... No, it's a goal kick. If we were to grab a goal soon, we would be very, very deserving of it, but I am concerned now that we'll end up... Macania forced into action. It's not the most difficult save, but he pulled it out anyway. Farmer takes it short for Kim. Back post cross, really. And, Colombo's header! Just over the crossbar. He doesn't really have that heading ability. All in all, very happy with that first half. 10 shots in the first half, 7 of which have found the target. XG's looking pretty healthy. I'm pleased. I think long term we can definitely carry this into a hopefully good result. And more than anything else, yet again, it's a consistent performance. Like, we haven't gone missing today. We're still firmly in this game, creating opportunities and looking good creatively. And that's actually what I want more than anything else. And what disappeared so heavily last season. Lovely football on the edge of the box here. Brighton don't know who to track. Candela. It's a corner. And we've got options off the bench too. Kang's cross. And Demaran with a great header. Back for Farmer. Goes past one man. Illich could whip one to the back post, and Christensen might get the header. It's gone in! It's Bolton 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Johan with the goal. Probably the weakest chance we've had in the entire game so far, but what a ball that was to Christensen at the back post. Was that Illich that's just picked that out, or was it Farmer? No, it was Illich. He's just absolutely dug an incredible ball out. And Christensen's aerial presence there, Dahlberg should not be beaten at his near post by a header like that, but it doesn't matter as we have the lead. I think we've deserved that. Just a weird to have it come in that sort of fashion. Kang, back for Christensen again, and Kim's shot is well blocked on the line. Pedro Porro. Okay, there's 3 of you there. Why? How are they allowing him to run through the middle of the 3 of them like that? You have to do better than that, lads. Okay. Time for Kang to whip one in. Can we grab ourselves a second goal and kill this game off potentially? Conroy! And it's 2-0 to Bolton. He's literally just come onto the pitch for his first ever goal for Bolton. Illich had to go off with a slight knock, so I brought on Victor Conroy. Look how tiny he is. He's a pint-sized man. Lovely little flick on, though, from Veselin Ivanov, and Conroy on the full volley. Bolton 2, Brighton 0. This is a terrific performance. This is very indicative of what I wanted to see from us. Chances being created. Solid at the back for the most part, with the occasional little blunder like that one where they let them all the way through. Creating opportunities, taking those opportunities. It's good. It's very, very good. We've got what we deserve from this game so far. I want to hang on and keep that clean sheet, though, so you know how we're often likely to give up those random late goals. Let's not let this happen for once today, eh? McAllister round the side, and that's surely offside. Good save from Macania, actually. He's found Ivanov with that lovely flick down for Kang. What a lovely piece of play. And round the side for Christensen. He's in again here. Just wide. Even Johan is looking up for it tonight. I mean, this is... they may be Brighton, but this is not your mother's Brighton. These Brighton are no mugs. They're a consistent top half Premier League team that were really, really high up there last season as well. And we've been extremely good today. Some nice football from us here, actually. Ivanov could slip it through. He's got Kang. Candela's made the overlapping run. And it's 3-0 to Bolton. Bolton 3, Brighton 0. And Juan Candela, maybe this will open him up to be something special as well. I think he scored one in the period towards the end of last year. But what a run that was from the inverted wingback. All of a sudden, we just played our way out of trouble here. The moment we get the wrong side of their defence here, and you think that it's going to go to Kang, but he's just sort of been tackled by the defender as Candela will sweep that one home for Bolton 3, Brighton 0. I think Europe is definitely on the cards for us this year if we carry on playing this well. I mean, that's a supremely good performance on the opening day. Took us a little while to get going, but we got there in the end. Bolton Wanderers 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 0, and I think we've deserved it. Really good in virtually all areas of the pitch tonight. The passing has been crisp. We haven't had that much possession, but still pretty solid amounts. Bolton 3, Brighton 0, and we're going to start second in the league as a result of that. And one of our better creative performances since we've been in the Premier League, I'd argue. Really, really good from everybody on the pitch. That's what I want to see. The perfect start to 13 shots on target. Lovely old job. Just saw that Kang made 13 key passes in that game. That's an absurd amount. He is just looking better and better and better. So, we've started off with an absolute flourish, and long may it continue, my friends. I'm excited about the season, and I hope you are too. So yeah, expect to see some more transfers probably in the next video as well. Not entirely sure what games we're going to be doing, but we'll figure it out along the way. So, if you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have, and you're looking forward to the new season, drop a like. That'd be tremendous. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be sick too. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so go follow there as well. See more of Phil Foden at Tromsø. I still can't believe that's a thing. And I will see you guys soon. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.